Und damit geht es mich jetzt hier auch los. Und ihr seht schon da drüben, ich habe nämlich noch eine gefunden, hier in irgendeinem verlassenen Dorf. Und Paimon findet das hier ganz creepy. Guck mal, ein Geistertyp. Hallo du, Yuan Hong. Der einsame Baum hat keinen Wald. Ja, sei gegrüßt, du einsamer Baum. Üppige rote Blätter tanzen auch ohne Wind. Hallo, guten Tag. Raschelnde rote Blätter vom Winde verweht. Warum antwortet er uns denn nicht? Gold, Silber und Seide, sie alle sind ein Witz. Einfach nur ein Witz. Dieses Dorf, je weiter ich davon wegkomme, desto besser. Einfach nochmal von vorn. Der einsame Baum hat keinen Wald. Ich suche das verdammte Dorf. Okay, ich würde sagen, wir fangen hier einfach mal an. Ne? Also ihr seht, ich habe gestern ein bisschen eskaliert. Ich habe alles gefühlt angenommen, was irgendwie da ist. Okay, keine Ahnung. Nee, wir fangen damit nicht an. Wir machen das da zuerst. Das finde ich wichtig. Die Kanne. Da habe ich gestern Abend mit aufgehört. Und die will ich auf jeden Fall beenden. Weil das ist für die Weekly wichtig. Immer noch. Habe ich gestern auch schon mal gesagt. Da war die alle hier im Stream nicht mit dabei. Aber jetzt. Ey, du da. Oslo. Junge.
Hello, Mr. Crossell. How's business been?
Außerdem für alle hier im Stream eine Rechtsberaterin. Yanfei.
Oh, good. Very
Bisschen
good.
gesprächig.
All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei. What brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, in the end, I did acquire a small piece of smaragdus jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins.
Okay, hast du das gemacht, ja?
Miss
Sehr
Yanfei,
gut.
might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize. I've already rented them out to a lady named Chiao. If you'd like to inspect them, you may have to wait quite some time.
Warum verliehen? Will ich das jetzt verstehen? Ich dachte, wir verkaufen.
Wait, isn't smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost while they're being rented out?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Chiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Miss Chiao in the event that it is shown to be a fake.
Dieser Vertrag scheint wirklich wasserdicht. Aber auch sehr gefährlich, ne? Wenn sie sich verarscht und die irgendwo eine gefälschte Smaragdiade herholt und schon hast du die Misere, ne? Moin Moin, Jess! Schön, dass du da bist.
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false. Yes, these terms are very clear indeed.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy of the contract.
Aber ist es jetzt perfektes Englisch, was der redet? Das ist ja die große Frage. Ja, mir geht's soweit gut, Jess. Bisschen gestresst von gestern Abend, weil endlich die Schranktüren vom Ikea-Schrank da waren und ich 2 Ikea-Läden abfahren musste. Aber ja, ansonsten geht's gut.
In that case, might you know where Miss Chiao lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the hairpins.
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here, I'll mark it on your map for you.
Ja, dass das gutes Englisch ist, ist klar. Aber dass es noch lange nicht an meins rankommt, das ist mir auch bewusst. Jess, bitte. Aber schmeichel dich ruhig weiter ein. Ich mag das.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell. We'll be off now.
Oh, neue Quest. Wo kommt denn die jetzt her? Ich hätte hier gestern alles. Ey, du da, Chang. Bleib mal stehen. Oh, wie soll ich ihn nur füttern? Gibt's ein Problem? Ich frage mich nur, wie ich den Welpen von vorhin füttern kann. Naja, schmeißen irgendwas vor ihn oder frisch schon, wenn er Hunger hat. Opa meinte, in der Stadt herrschte zu viel Aufruhr. Er würde mich nicht gehen lassen, um einen Welpen zu füttern. Jetzt, wo alles wieder ruhig ist, ist er zu beschäftigt, um mit mir hinzugehen. Wir haben den Welpen schon lange nicht mehr gefüttert. Hoffentlich ist er nicht verhungert. Opa meinte, die Welpen finden schon Futter, aber ich mache mir Sorgen. Würdest du den Welpen vor dem Stadttor für mich füttern? Ja, klar. Juhu, danke. Und womit soll ich füttern? Für gewöhnlich kümmert Opa sich um das Hundefutter. Ich glaube, es ist rohes Geflügel. Boah, ist ja noch ein Gourmet-Hund, ey. Dann würdest du eine Portion rohes Geflügel besorgen, um unseren Welpen zu füttern? Beeil dich, es darf nicht verhungern. Er darf nicht verhungern. Und erstens nicht unser Welpe, dein Welpe. Ja, ich mache das nur einmal vertretungsweise. Ah. Na gut, ich würde sagen, wir huschen einmal da hoch. Zur Jingqing. Und Jingnao oder Jingnao. Hier soll die wohnen. Hör mal auf da hoch zu klettern. Geh doch mal da rein. Ey, du da. Du bist falsch. 14 Meter über uns. Das ist ja mal wieder geil. Gestern ist schön noch Overlord angekommen. Ich kann mir schön noch Staffel 2 und 3 reinziehen. Oh, du hast die beiden Staffeln gekauft. Oh, Schwester, da beneide ich dich jetzt. Overlord ist so gut einfach. Habe ich mittlerweile auch schon die erste Staffel zweimal geguckt, leider auf nur, also was heißt leider nur, also leider nur Staffel 1. Richtig geil. Richtig, richtig geil.
Whatever shall I do?
Oh, geil.
Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
Ja, lass mich raten, du hast bestimmt deine Nadel verloren.
We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins. I can't lend them to you right now. I've lost them. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, there's no way I could come up with that amount of money on such short notice.
Warum hast du die Handel dann überhaupt ausgeliehen, wenn du sie nicht leisten kannst? Wie dämlich. Und Jess, was hast du denn dafür gezahlt, wenn ich fragen darf? Das ist schon geil. Schon geil. Hab bestimmt auch viel Geld, würde ich mir überhaupt.
My family is in the ore
Anime
business
kosten
too,
immer so viel.
but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices.
Ja.
That's what
Nicht
the
unser
hairpins were
Problem.
for, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me.
Aha. Ernsthaft. Damit andere etwas von dir halten oder wie? Um diese zu beeindrucken. Wie erbärmlich denn, bitte? Also.
But now that
Ohne
I've lost the
Worte.
hairpins, what will I do?
Tja. Oh.
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of déjà vu?
Ich glaube, das ist der Moment, in dem wir helfen dir sagen sollten.
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Ja, blöd, ne?
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Mr. Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Mhm, ja, genau. Gucken wir auf den Contract.
Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Aha, den schleppt's aber brav mit sich mit, aber die Dings nicht, die
Let
Haarnadeln.
me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Jichao somehow.
Aber wäre das denn nicht Crossel gegenüber ungerecht?
solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of Smaragdus Jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation may end up being significantly higher as a result.
Probierst du ihr gerade Mut zu machen oder sie komplett geistig zu zerstören, Yanfei? Ich frag nur, ne?
Even higher. Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Juchao looks like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the jadeite is genuine or not?
Das ist die Frage, Paimon. Genau das ist die Frage.
Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Seems right.
Please. Please, Don't trouble yourselves over this. The fact is, I lost the item and I should pay compensation per the contract.
Oh ja, das ist halt eben nur eine kleine Summe, ne? Also wie du willst, mir ist Bums. Ich habe nichts Besseres zu tun, also aber wenn du nicht willst,
However
ne?
much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants after all. It's vital that we keep our word and respect our contracts.
Und du ziehst also wegen so scheiß Haarpins deine Familie in
Now that
Bankrott.
it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer. I'll go and inform him of the issue and then negotiate the amount of compensation.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions about the hairpins. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
Ja, wieso? Was für ein Gefühl? Wo will sie jetzt
What
gerade
did I
drauf hin?
feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were perfectly smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade.
Okay.
My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch. Finest quality jade.
Was ist denn damit?
No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over to Mr. Crossell's.
Okay. Na, ich vermute mal, dass sie auch vermutet, dass er sie selbst geklaut hat. Er macht damit ja den meisten Gewinn, ne? Und flop. Hallo, Mr. Crossels, hier sind wir.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About that.
Okay.
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract.
Und
For less,
angebissen.
Mora.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus Jadeite?
Jetzt drin Blödchens weggibst.
I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may just confirm again,
Jetzt gibt's es ihm.
it was in fact genuine Smaragdus Jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course. Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation. Please wait here, Mr. Crossell.
Irgendwie hat er
Thank you
das
very much.
gefälscht.
How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Zeigt nicht. Oh ja, okay, er hat Handschuhe an, immerhin. Aber trotzdem zeigt nicht mit dem angezogenen Finger auf andere Leute,
Looks like
ne?
I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
Okay, Yanfei hat irgendwas. Ich sag ja, irgendwas ist da falsch. Wahrscheinlich ist Smaragdiade nicht warm in der Hand. Weil die da dauernd so drauf hinzielt und drauf hinpeilt. Und keine Ahnung. Gucken wir mal da hinten. Ach. So, jetzt. Da oben. Hier sollen wir wohl hin. Na dann.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the Orin laid on those hairpins may not be Smaragdus jadeite after all.
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Glaube nicht, Paimon.
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions.
Du als Adeptin kriegst es
I
ja
don't know
gut
if
hin.
Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy.
Okay.
If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch.
Okay,
Mr.
würde ja
Chow,
erklären.
Did you at any time
Das ist ein
feel
Fälschung
unwell
ist.
while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Ich glaube, sie hatten.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossel's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right to his face!
Paimon, jetzt beruhig dich mal. Nicht immer gleich so direkt.
Absolutely not. If we were to
Richtig.
confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone.
Meint ihr wirklich, das würde er machen? Aber müsste er dann nicht auch gesundheitliche Schäden davon tragen? Vielleicht ist er ja wesensverändernd und
After
wird zum
that, he
Betrüger.
would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Okay.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yanfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, could I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even keep track.
Es ist ein
Feels like
rechtsgelernter
Yanfei
Paimon.
is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
Also, ja.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yanfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
Okay, alles klar. Waschmaschine ist gekauft und der Elefant ist schon auf dem Weg.
This contract has so many pages. Paimon's all out of brain juice again.
Ja, sieht auch sehr umständlich aus.
All right,
Oder
that
hört
should do
sich
it.
so
My
an.
fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Ich glaube ja, Jess. Ich glaube,
Well
darauf
then,
bezogen.
here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy.
Kann ich irgendwo helfen? Bei
Not
euch?
for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Sehr gut.
Miss Yanfei, I have to ask. What?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some.
Das ist richtig. Also ich habe gerade mal geguckt, bei uns gibt's Overlord für 70 €, aber nur die Staffel 2 zu kaufen. Also
Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore?
mit dem Typen da
Ah,
hinten.
I've got it. Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore.
Das
If Mr. Crossel has
Jade-Mysterium,
ore work done
natürlich.
at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Ich sag ja, der Typ da hinten. Ach ja, Perlen der Liebe, Band 1. Ja, ich glaube, sie ist gerade nicht da, Jess. Die ist gerade mal runtergegangen. Aber die kommt gleich wieder. So, dann reden wir mal mit dem.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yanfei. Is something the matter?
Oh Gott, Schmierlappen, ey.
Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win? Oh, I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort.
Oh Mann, der
Has a
Typ.
Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
Hab ich auch gesehen, deswegen habe ich es über einen Händler bestellt, der die von Asien importiert. Zwar nur Japanisch, Englisch und 2 bis 3 Wochen Lieferung, aber um einiges günstiger. Oh ja, das glaube ich hier. Ja gut, wenn man gut Englisch kann, ne?
A Snezhnian merchant named Crossel, you say?
Ja, denk
I
mal
do
drüber nach,
remember
Shito.
that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. They're right over there, in fact.
Lasst sie da einfach so liegen, wenn die so ultra teuer ist. Der einfach so auf dem Holzding neben dem Verkaufsstand.
Thank you, sir.
Ah.
We'll take a look at them.
Wahnsinn. Na gut. Die gucken wir uns auf jeden Fall mal an. Betrachten.
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings.
Smaragdnefrit? Was soll denn das schon wieder sein? Irgendeine Necron-Waffe oder was?
Yes, it's not
Echt
particularly
cool.
rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
Okay, also eigentlich, wenn das so der Fall war, dann hat er es ja nicht zu Unrecht behauptet, sondern er ging wirklich davon aus, dass es so ist, aber trotzdem ist es ja eine Verarsche.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If if you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Is that so?
Gut zu
Well,
wissen,
we
ne?
might as well give elemental sight a shot.
Ja, Paimon.
Did you find anything?
Nicht eine Spur von Elementarenergie. Und ja, das hat er selber gemacht gerade eben, also das war
So
gescriptet.
they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
Ah.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time.
Warum konnte Shito sie nicht auseinanderhalten?
These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart.
Alles klar, Jess. Bis gleich. Ja, gut.
There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price.
Also wir vergeben ihm da hinten. Er hat uns ja auch schon gute Dienste geleistet, ne? Wir verzeihen ihm seine Unwissenheit, ne? Obwohl ja eigentlich Unwissenheit nicht vor Strafe schützt, aber
And
naja.
I'm sure a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
Alright, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Der wesensverändert ist.
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Sehr gut. Und schon haben wir... Achso, ihn? Zu ihm? Ey, du da.
Miss Yanfei?
Ja?
Might I be so bold as to inquire?
If you could just confirm for me once more,
Oh, da
sir.
legt's so los.
Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore you brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus Jadeite, did he not?
Da muss man gar nicht mehr viel reden, was sie alles schon hier
that's right.
zelebriert,
I
ne?
still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus Jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit.
Alter Schwede, jetzt haut sie raus hier, ne?
This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei. But might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
Ja, ich glaube schon.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
Gut.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
Ja, Paimon, jetzt beruhig dich mal.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling.
Mhm.
If you
Na
want to
dann.
make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think.
Die Alte, ey.
Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Sinxie. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Klingt
Well,
sie?
that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Sie ist immer noch eine Adeptin, Paimon.
Because lots of people come to me for
Welcome
legal
back,
advice
Jess.
every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us.
Das ist richtig. Und ohne Gesetze läuft hier, glaube ich, auch nichts. Dann wäre kein Vertrag irgendwas wert, ne? Deswegen, ja gut,
But the
Miss
amendments made by
Yanfei.
the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Tja, Paimon, genau deswegen hat man Rechtsberaterinnen oder Berater, weil die sich damit auskennen und diese Gesetze auch lesen können, seien sie noch so schwer, zumindest die guten. Doch immer schwarze Schafe.
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
Okay, sie ist ein laufendes Lexikon über die ganzen rechtlichen Paragraphen hier. Wahnsinn.
Memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know?
Das ist richtig, ja.
Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singsi.
Na gut. Damit sie Spaß hat, wir suchen mal Zingsi. Die ist gleich hier oben. Das ist, glaube ich, daneben dieser Antiquitätenstand, wo wir ja auch die Dose gekriegt haben für den klipprigen, eisgefrosteten Zuckerschleim. Ja, keine Ahnung. Nee, doch. Doch, ich bin richtig. Hey, Zingli.
Oh, Miss Yanfei, it's you. Has something happened?
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions.
Ja, dann.
Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Krosel. Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Singsi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus Jadeite?
Oh Mann, der Typ, der hat gerade eben kein angenehmes Leben mehr.
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins
Aber
were made
yay.
using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Krosel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins.
Ah, Phoenix ist jetzt auch noch mit drin hier,
The
krass.
inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Singsi. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
So viel musst du nicht wissen. Wenn ich dir sagen würde, müssten wir dich töten. Also, ja?
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
Ja, das bringt die Rechtsberatung wohl so mit sich, ne? Wenn die da ist, ist es nie gut.
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
Die Bubu-Hütte. Baiju?
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Ja, genau, der Typ.
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
Machen wir so. Lange Wert wird endlich, nee, was ewig wert wird lange gut. Nee, hä? Was? Irgendwie so. Gut.